All right, now you can write it down, just get the information out of it. I'm going to blow it up for you for a few minutes. You don't have to write all the jib-jab. You can just write the basics of it. I'd say it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, 4 or 2 or 3 editions ago, they had this question in your book. They took it out. I don't know why they took it out. Now the key word here is what? Relatively. What does relatively mean? Relative to their own population. Let me ask you a question. What is the requirements for being president of the United States? Yeah, right. I'm sorry. Yeah. You have to be a U.S. citizen and what? Have to be 35 years old. Is it 35? That's it. Does the President of the United States office require that you be tall? Well, FDR was in a wheelchair. So that has nothing to do with the requirements for the presidency of the United States. So, are there a lot of tall presidents or a lot of short and tall presidents? Or are there all different sizes? All different sizes. Who was the biggest president? Remember Taft. Taft was the biggest president. So, what I'm saying is, Lyndon B. Johnson, was he a little fish in a big pond, or was he a big fish in a little pond? He was a big fish in a little pond. Why was he a big fish in a little pond? Huh? No, don't look at all of it. But why, if he was the tallest president, why was he a big fish in a little pond? Y'all don't know what big fish in a little pond is, do you?
Yeah, but no, he was a relatively big guy and have a small population president.
No, not small population presidents, but there's no requirement for height or anything for a president. So there's all different what? Sizes and all different heights. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I don't know who the shortest president is, but I know that FDR was pretty short after he had his, problem with polio, or with polio. So he was 3 foot tall, or 4 foot tall, because he was in a wheelchair. Now that's not his physical height. His physical height would have been 5 whatever. But you might have had some that was 5'4". You might have had some that was 5'6", 5'7", 5'8", because there's no requirement for height to be president. You see what I'm saying? Now, what's a requirement? Not a requirement. There is no requirements for being in the NBA. So you got to know how to play basketball, and you need to be able to play it good. You need to be able to run. But why is all basketball players tall? 90% of them are tall, taller than that. Why? Well, going up through school, they found out they were tall. So what did the coach say? Hey, you need to come over here and play basketball. Boom, there it goes. Or your mom and dad said, you're tall, you need to play basketball. So, who makes up the NBA? Short people? Tall people? tall people mostly. So what would Shaq be? Even though he's not little, he's a little fish in a what? Big pond, because everybody is what in the NBA? Tall. Taller than average. That's what relative means. Are you a big fish in a little pond or a little fish in a big pond? Same thing if I was to take all the heights of 4 guys in here, 4 or 5 guys in here, and take all the heights of the girls. Comparing which one is relatively taller. Well, most people would say the guys would be taller. Why? Because guys usually are taller than girls when they get through growing, even though there's an exception here and there. But to find out which is relatively taller, I'm comparing apples to what? Oranges. The two are not comparable. So we have to find a universal number system that compares the two populations. And that is what a z-score does. What is a z-score? Just what I told you. When you can't compare apples to oranges, you need to put them on the same table or put them on the same scale and see where they end up. And that's what we're going to do. So, take that question and the formula for z-scores, which is x minus x bar over standard deviation, and see what happens while I do this. Z is equal to x minus x bar over the standard deviation. And for those of you that went through 120 and never knew what a z-score was, a z-score is putting everybody on the same measuring stick. So we need to do a z-score for LBJ and do a z-score for Shaq. I want you to do that. Punch your numbers in, see what you come up with. Well, you've got it right here. It says, right here, presidents of the past century had heights with a what? Mean, x bar, and a standard deviation of 2.1. Basketball players, blah, 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 mean, and a standard deviation. So if these two are S's and these two are X bars, then what do you think these are? That's your X for LBJ, and that's your X for Shaq. All right, somebody tell me what the score is for LBJ. How much? 1.7. And what is the score for Shaq? Huh? 1.5. So who is relatively taller? LBJ. Because his score is further away from zero. Which, turn to your books, I don't know what page it's on. What page are you on right now with the z-score? Anybody know what page you're on? I didn't look. What page is that? what? 112. I think it's the next page, I'm not sure, but down at the bottom of the page, there's an arrow. And that's shaded, and that is your scale for Z-scores. 95% of the population is going to fall within 2 standard deviations, or -2 and +2 on the Z-score. And I'll give y'all a few more seconds to write that down if you don't have it. And then we'll go over the Z-score scale versus the normal distribution scale, the empirical rule. So, the empirical rule says that there's 95% population, 95% of the population will fall within 2 what? Standard deviations. Okay, well this score is also, this just bring this down. %95 of the population is going to be between 2 and -2 on the Z-score. Anything outside 2 and -2 is considered what? Unusual. So if 2 and -2 is 95%, and you go outside 2 standard deviations, or up to 2 to -2, it's somewhat more unusual, then the further you are from 0, the more unusual you are. Or ER, whatever the word, whatever the question's asked. Smaller, taller, wider, thinner, whatever the question may be. So in this case, the relative question was, is LBJ, or which one is taller relatively? And LBJ was 1.7, which is right in here, or and he was 1.7, and then Shaq was where? 1.5. So, what does that tell us about Shaq and LBJ? Well, Shaq, in his population, is 1.5. So he's in the 95% population. Does that make sense? And LBJ is 1.7 in his population. So he's within the 95%. So which one is further away? Which one is more toward the unusual? LBJ. And that's why he is taller, relatively taller, or whatever. Yep, that's it. And we're going to talk about that next. Because inside these 2 marks right here is 95%. Okay? And within here is 95%. So there's 5%, 0.025 here, or 2.5% here, and 2.5% here. That's your empirical rule. That's what everything is based on. What number was that on way back? Page 103? Something like that. The empirical rule. Got the shaded. 103 sticks in my brain. Tell me if that's right or not. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It should have a shaded normal distribution. 103? 104. Page 104, that's it. That's it. Now put the Z-scale right up under that, and it means the same thing. Now, talking about percentiles. Let's look at, you can put the normal distribution also. Let me change that to black so people can see it on better. You can also do the normal distribution with Z-scores. Now, we're not going to, for right now, we're not going to worry about this end right here. We're not going to worry about that. And we're not going to worry about this, because we're talking about is the tank half full or quarter full, whatever. We're going to talk about that. When you read from left to right, think of this as a gas tank. Read from left to right. What is this? This is a quarter of a tank. What is this? Half a tank. And what is this? 3/4 of a tank. First quartile. Second quartile. And third quartile. All right, I'm just saying if you were reading it, because it's going to be 2.5% off because of the 5% on the outside, the usual. All right, not exactly a quarter, but I'm just telling you as you read this thing, this is a quarter, this is half, and this is 3/4. We don't worry about 100% because nobody's perfect. And in probability, that's what 100 is, 1, and that's perfect. And you don't need to think about that. But we do talk about the 95th percentile, we talk about the 96th percentile, and we talk about that. And that's where this comes from. Because this is the second quartile, but it's also called the 50th what? Percentile. And this is not just the first quartile, it's called the 25th percentile. And this is called the what? 75th percentile. So you need to get familiar with these names and what they mean. Quarter of a tank, that's your first percentile, or your first quartile, or your 25th percentile. Half a tank, that's your 50th percentile, or your second quartile. And then the 3/4 of a tank, that's your third quartile, or your 75th percentile. And you think of it as quarter of a tank. And that makes, and when you got a bunch of numbers, it makes sense when they ask for the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile. You're finding the quarter of a tank, how many numbers are in that quarter, how many numbers are in half, and how many numbers are in 3/4, or how many numbers are in all. And that's what you're doing. Now, how do you find the percentile and the quartiles and all that good stuff? Well, there's several ways to find it. But one way to find them, if you're given a list of numbers and you want to find out what percentile 23 is, and I think there's a problem in your book that asks for 23, I can't remember, 23 chips in a cookie or something like that, and there's 40 cookies or 40 chips or whatever. There's 40 numbers up here. It is to find the percentile, or how many numbers, then that would be the number under the number of items under the number, or less than the number, over n multiplied by 100. And I think that's on page 113 or 114. Yeah, I just saw it. Right there, on page 115. Not percentile, but percent of place value. Is that what they call it? Percentile of value. I'm sorry, percentile of value. That means if you're given 40 numbers, and they range from 16 to, or 19 to 30, and they want to know what percentile 23 is, then you would count the numbers under 23. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's 10 in this problem. So that would be 10 over 40 multiplied by 100. Well, we all know this is a quarter. What is a quarter? 25, 0.25, 0.25 times 100 is what? It's the 25th what? Percentile. So on page, what did you say, page 115? On page 115, that table in the middle of the page, 23 is the 25th percentile, or it marks the 25th percentile. And how do you know that? Because they asked you, what does 23 represent? And you can say 23 represents the 25th percentile. So if you was to put that on a graph, on a normal distribution, right here, all right, what's the numbers under? There's 19 and what else? 23, well not 23, 23 is the marker. What's under 23? Under 22, 19, huh? 20. All of those numbers are falling right in here. And then if you wanted to find the 50th percentile, then you would do another formula. And we're fixing to go over that. How do you find percentile? This is the percentile value. In other words, if I give you a number, what percentile is it? You need to write that down, folks. You might get too confused. If I give you a number, what percentile is that number? In the next formula, I'm going to give you the percentile, and you tell me which number represents that percentile. Give or take. And that'll be on page 116, I think. No, back up, on 115. It's on the bottom of page 115, I think. It's the L is equal to K over N times 100, or something like that. There it is. It's on bottom of page 116, top of page 117. And it should be L is equal to K over 100. Is that it? Yeah, times it. L is equal to K N over 100. Write it like that. And we all know what N is. N is the number of people in the group, or the number of subjects in the group. And K is the percentile you want. So if I want to know the number of percentile in that page 115 table, the chips and the cookies, then I would put in L is equal to 50 times, what's N? Is it 40? Over 100, or 0.5, sorry, the 50th percentile. And what's half, or 50 times 40 comes out to be 20. That's what it comes out to be. L is equal to 20. So you count the 20th number. And then the next number is the 50th percentile. So on that table, count 20 numbers. And the next number is the 50th percentile. You always count the next number. So you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first two rows of, and then the next number. So 24, which equals the number 24. So 24 on our handy dandy right here is the what? 25th percentile. Or the 50th percentile, sorry. The 50th percentile, because I put in 50. What is it? 0.50? 20 would be 50. 50 times, yeah, 50 times 40 is what? 2,000 divided by 100 is 20, so it's not 0.50, it's just 50. Sorry. 50th percentile, I thought that number was too big. 50 times 100. 50th percentile. Now, there's one thing that you got to worry about here, and that's the flow chart on that page. the flow chart says if it's the whole number, if you come out with a whole number, then it ain't broke, don't fix it, you just pick the number. You count and pick that number. So we counted 20 times, and the 21st number was the 50th percentile. But what if you had a decimal? If you have a decimal, you round up. Did I say 0.5 or did I say a decimal? Decimal. And it says that in the flow chart. If you have a decimal, it doesn't say what the decimal is. 0.5, 0.2, 0.1, 0.05. You raise it to the next number. So if you came out to 22.5, you would count 23 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And boom, that next number after 23 would be your 50th percentile. And we'll do a couple of these. I'm just trying to get you aware of what's going on. So now we know how to find the z-score, which is easy because most of y'all can find the z-score without any problem. The problem is box plot. That's where everybody gets confused. All right. The second thing is finding the percentile of a number and then reversing it and finding the number that represents the percentile. We know how to do that, and we'll do a couple of those problems. But now we got to talk about the box plot, because the box plot gives y'all the biggest problems, because some people don't even know what a box plot is. It's a graphic representation of your quartiles. Graphic representation of your quartiles. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a problem up from your homework, and we will work on it and find the different quartiles. Now, there's two ways you can find the quartiles, or the percentiles, by the formula I gave you, which is real quick. But I don't show it to you that way on here because I like for you to see what it actually is. Because I'm one of these teachers, I just don't want you to regurgitate. I want you to learn and understand what you're doing. So, I'll go to the ebook 3.4 and study plan. And this is the problem we were doing in the last class when the computer blew up. I think it was one of these right here. Nope. Nope. There it is. All right. You don't have to write these numbers down, but if you want to write it down in your notes so you'll have it, go ahead and knock yourself out. They're in order. I'll blow it up a little bit for you, for those of you that want to write it down. You don't have to, because, like I say, it's on video, so you can go back and look at it if you need to. Sorry. Supposed to have a heart attack. Sorry. Let's turn it down. All right, write those down. And if you want for percentiles, you go right ahead. That's up to you. But we're going to work them together, because we're going to also do the box plot for this one. So who does Georgia play this week? Daniel High School. Who does South Carolina play? Anybody know? Nobody knows. Okay. We won't talk about Clemson, okay? Let's not talk about that. But you know Clemson. Would anybody bet on Clemson? I wouldn't. I like Clemson. I got 2 degrees from Clemson. But I'd bet money on Georgia and South Carolina before I'd bet money on Clemson, because you don't know what Clemson's going to do. Clemson could go in there and beat them 25-0, or they could get beat 63-0. You don't know which team's going to show up. Anybody want to bet? No. Can't do that. I get fired. But I can distribute. We can go into distribution if you want to. If people that work hard and make 100, we can take points away from your 100 and give it to the people that didn't pass. What do you think about that? Why not? That's called distribution. Bad Hubert. Bad Hubert. Well, that's the same philosophy. All right, y'all got them written down? Well, if you don't, I hate it. You're going to fail. All right. Well, what do you do with them? Well, I'm going to show you on the spreadsheet. Not that you have to use the spreadsheet, because actually the spreadsheet is the longest way to do it. But the reason I'm showing you on the spreadsheet is 2 reasons. One is I can't write in the small cells and get it all on the board. I have to erase and go to the next page. I'm not going to do that. The second reason is it shows you what the first quartiles are in respect to the median. And you'll see that in just a second. You'll see it. Some of you will see it and say, hey, I see what it is now. All right, so I'm going to hit my little copy table and go to my spreadsheet. And I will put it in right here. And I'll put right here, n is equal to, what was it? 30, was it 36 or 38? 36. I want to make sure. I don't want to get the wrong median.
Priority
36, yeah.
on secure
All right.
channel.
They say find the 50th percentile. I'm not worried about that, because I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, and I'm going to show you how to do everything with this problem. Now, the 50th percentile is basically the median. Write that down. The 50th percentile is the median. So that means I've got to take the middle 2 numbers and do what with them? I got to add them up and divide by 2. I got to take the average of it, because we got an even number right there. 36 is even. So that means I've got to take the middle 2 numbers, which is what? If you go 18 down, it'd be 18 and 19, wouldn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 18 and 19. There's my 2 numbers. So I'm going to paint them, I'm going to highlight them yeller. It didn't do it. There. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to say, and I'm going to be facetious here. I'm going to say median, comma, for second, what? Quartile, comma, 50th what? And the reason I'm doing that is just to show you that all 3 of those are the same thing. I don't want anybody confused. And that's equal to, parentheses, this guy plus this guy divided by what? 2. Now, that number is right here where my cross is. Right there. Right in the middle of those two numbers. Whenever you find the median of an even number of n, you're finding the middle number between these two numbers, the mid-range of those two numbers. So he's right there. That's not, that number right there is not this number or this number. It is the middle of these two numbers. So that means, what do I have above that 42 that's right here? What do I have up here? Got 18 numbers, right? So what if I find the median there? That's the first quartile. So the median here would be, what's half of 18? It'd be 9 and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're going to mark these two and we're going to call them orange. So my first quartile, or my what? 25th percentile is going to be equal to, parentheses, this number plus this number divided by 2. All right, you find the third quartile. What'd y'all get? Look over there. I got 62.52. How about some of y'all that used your formulas? Let's do the formulas down here. Let's do the formula. That'll be first quartile. I'll just say first, second, and third. All right. The first quartile is the 25th percentile. So that'd be 25 times what? Be 0.25 multiplied by 40, right? Or how many? 36? So we'll call this 20. Let me just do this. 25, 50, and 75. And then I'll go over here. 75, thank you. I don't know what I'd do without these students that pay attention. All right, equals. All right, we're going to take parentheses 25 times what? 100, and do what with it? What's the formula? I can't hear you. No. L is supposed to be, L is equal to Kn over what? 100. That's what I thought. That's why I said divided by 100 a while ago. All right. Y'all messed me up again. Equals be parentheses K, which is 25, times N, which is right here, divided by 100. 9. Well, let's go over here and count the 9 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 26. I got 26.5. Now there are teachers that will tell you to do it the way that I'm showing you on the spreadsheet. And then there's other teachers that will tell you to do it with the formula. I'm showing you, the reason I'm doing the spreadsheet is not because I'm trying to get the answer. I'm showing you how they come up with the formulas to get the percentiles. That's what I'm doing. Now, you may be off a little bit. I'm not going to count off. I mean, you're not going to do this on the test because this takes too long, okay? You're going to do formula. But that's basically what you're finding. You're finding the median of the median is what you're finding with the percentiles. All right, so we got 9 there, which it comes up to be 26. All right, and we'll just copy this down. And we'll change this to 20. You didn't like that, did it? Oh, I know what it did. Okay, forget it. I won't do it. I'll just do each one separately. Equals, parentheses, this times this divided by 100. That comes up with 18, so you count 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then you're supposed to count the next number. I didn't do that on the last one. 42. What do I have? 42. It's a miracle. Okay, the last one's supposed to be 27. My bad. So 27 is supposed to be the last one. And 42. And let's do the last one, and that's equal to parentheses 75 times 36 divided by 100. And that'll give you the 27th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and then the next one is 63. And what did I get? I got 62.5. So we're good, because guess what? On your box plot, it doesn't matter because you don't do decimals, you just do whole numbers pretty much. All right, so what is the 5-number summary? The 5-number summary is your mean, which is what? 16. Your first quartile, your second quartile, your third quartile, and your max, which is what? Dang old 78. Okay, now what I want everybody to do is get a clean part of your notes. You need at least a half a page. I want you to draw a number line across your page, and I want you to put the mean on one end, left end, and on the right end I want you to put the max. And then I want you to increment that line up about 8 or 9 increments. You put the numbers down. That's when everybody goes, what number? It's only got 2 numbers. Well, I think y'all are all college students. I think y'all can find the middle between your max and your min. Mid, what? Range. And then keep finding the mid-range of the mid-range of the mid-range, and you'll have your number line all divvied up. Dang old box plot. Dang old draw a line. Dang old crooked line. Slant. What is going on with these computers? It's all a conspiracy. We all know whose fault it is. Whose fault is it? There you go. Y'all learning. All right. So I need one right here. That's what's my min? 16. And our max is 78. Mathematically, you don't need arrowheads because you do have parameters, but I'm not going to worry about that. We'll just bring old paper, bring old white. I don't want anybody saying that I was mathematically incorrect. All right. What's in the middle? Well, that's the mid-range. 16 plus 78 is what? 94? And what? 47. Or whatever it comes out to. And then take the mid-range of those two. That's 32 right here.
Do you round?
Don't matter, you're plotting. So yeah, there's some nice whole numbers. What's over here? All right, and then do the middle here, 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 and here. 16 plus 32 is dang old 48, dang old 24. No. Yeah, 48, 24. Dang old 79, half of 80 is what, 40? So that'd be 40. Dang old 110, 55. Y'all check me. And dang old 141, half of 140 is 70. There, you got your number line. Now, make a note. This is just a number line. And it has two things on it from your 5-number summary. It has your what? Your max and your what? That's the only thing you have on your 5-number summary that's on the number line. Because that's where students get confused. They don't know how to do the box plot because they don't have a number line. They think they're supposed to do it together. You're not. You're supposed to do the number line first. That way you have something to plot on. Now, what is our min? I'm sorry, our first quartile, sorry. What? 32? Dang old right there. There's our min. Our quartile. What's our third quartile? 63? Right in there. So I take my black marker and I make that a box. Everybody get what? I asked what the first quartile was. Y'all said 32.
From the other.
Yeah, from the previous string.
It's 26.
I thought, I must be speaking a foreign language up here. Y'all giving me all kinds of numbers. All right, let's try it again. What's the first quartile? 27. All right, 27 will be where? Right in here. I'll put a 27 right here, or 26 point what? Or 26, whatever. You see why it doesn't matter? It's right in there somewhere. All right. What's my third quartile? 60 what? 63. Right in here. So I take my black marker and I make a box out of that. And now there's only one number left. And what's that number? The second quartile. And what is that? How much? 42. And it falls underneath. And that's how you draw a box. Simple as that. Now, this distance right here is determining how tight your data is. If these two are real close together, then your data's tight. If it's far apart, not so tight. Because that 47, what is 47 in this problem? What is that number 47? What is that? It is the middle. There ain't no statistics to it. That is the numerical middle of this what? Range. That is the numerical middle. It is the center. It is the zero of the number line. It is the middle. No weighting, no bias, no anything. It's the mathematical middle. And this is basically the middle of your statistics. And the closer these two are together, the more tight your data is. Or is, whatever. All right, let's do a nerd. So you can get discouraged. I'll just back off of this because I'm not going to say this. Because like I say, you don't need to do it. You need to do it by the formulas. But sometimes it helps to see what you're actually getting. I don't know what number that was. Do y'all? Number 11. Okay, then let me just hit that and I'll just find the one that I like. No? Oh, I see. Okay, now the ones that they're going to ask you for a box plot are going to have fewer numbers. Well, I'm trying to find one. Okay, we'll just do one of these. Let's do this one. It has less numbers. 5-number summary, and then they'll ask you which one is the box plot. They're not going to ask you to draw it. They're going to ask you which one is it, and they'll show it to you. We'll do it here. This is like number 16. Now, this is coming from the study plan, so you may or may not have one like this. But since we covered it in class, you are responsible for it on the test. So go ahead and write those numbers down. And if you want to put them in your list and then calculate, you can do that, and then you will get all the information you need. But just remember, you have to scroll down on your regression or whatever it's called, calculate. I don't know what it's called, but anyway, it gives you all that. Scroll down, and it'll give you the 5-number summary. How many are there? $15. Oh, so this one's real easy. Why? Because if you was to list them, it's an odd number of n, so it's just the middle of the middle of the middle. You don't have to do the averages, you just get the middle. So, dang all 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 73. There's your second quartile. What's this one? You got to take those two and average them together. And take, what did I count wrong? I got 15, right? So half of 15 is 7, right? Oh, okay, I said 6. I'm sorry. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. There it is. 74 is your median. And then what's over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 72 is your first quartile. And 78 is your what? Third quartile. So the odd ones are real good to get because it's real quick to get the 5-number summary. Now your formula may give you a different number. So just remember, if you put 70, what did I say, 72, 74, 78, and 79, if you put those in and it marks it wrong, then they want you to do the formulas.
Alright, I'm confused on how to do the formula. The K is what, it would be the
The
number.
percent. 25, 50, and 75.
And then the N would be the number of how many.
That would be, how many, 18? How many did I say?
15.
15.
And then you divide that by 100.
So what does that come out to be?
3.75.
Okay, so that'd be 4. The fourth number. What's our fourth number? 2, 3, 4.
Okay. That, I was wondering why it was so low, but I know I'm reason. Did you have to count the number?
Yeah,
of the
count
wells?
the number, yeah.
Okay.
So let's see what happens when I do it, the median of the median of the median. Let's see if I get the answer right. What'd I say? 72. I done forgot. 74. Oops, I forgot the mean. I forgot the 70. Sorry. I suck. 70 and 72. 74, 78, and 79. And now let's draw the box plot. So I'm going to go to a white sheet. Black sheet. Where did that come from? Black sheet. That's where that came from. All right, so I'm going to go. I'm not going to draw a arrowhead line because it's mathematically incorrect. There's my number line. And what's my mean? Oops, sorry. I think I might as well quit. I think by the time I'm teaching 4th, 5th class, I think I'm about shot. You know. 70, and the max is what? I'm sorry, 79. And the the mid-range, 70 to 79, that'd be 75. And 73. And what? 70, half of 4 is 77. And you can go here, and that'd be 78. Go here and go 76. Here and go 74. Here and go 72. All right. Now, what is my third quartile? First quartile. 72. What is my third quartile?
No, your third, sorry. 77.
75.
77.
77. I think I'm not going to quit. And take my black marker. Thought I took my black marker. I didn't. And what is my median? 74. And the center is what? 75. So this data's got a little bit more variation than the last one because the last one was a little bit closer to the middle. But your increments are bigger here. So let's see. It's 1. Now picture this. Also look at this. Where is my box? Is it centered or is it toward the left or to the right? It's to the left. See? You only got one increment here. Over here you got 2 increments. So it's over to the left. It's skewed right. That means the hump is over here and it's skewed like that. It's skewed right. So, look at your handy dandy pictures. Sorry. Which one is it not? Well, it's not D. Why is it not D? Because where is the median on D? It's on the right. So you know that one's not right. So just mark that one out. What else is not right? C. Why is C not right? It's just all fuzzled up. It just ain't right. So that leaves this guy, and that leaves this guy. Now what I would tell you to do first is find the center. The center is what? 75. Oops, sorry. Hold on a minute. Let me do this right, because y'all gonna make fun of me no matter what, so I might as well do it right. There. And there. Now, which one looks right to you? I don't know why it does that. I think it does it just to piss me off. Gonna move the pen too. Watch. Which one is it not? Not A. Why? Well, yeah. See the distance between here and the median. Oops, my big head's in the way. Is about 73. Here is 74. What was ours? So now you know how to get the box plot. First of all, get rid of the two that it ain't, or that it isn't. And then, after you get rid of two that isn't, then you can look at the two that's remaining and see which one fits. And you feel good about yourself. So let's move on to something that will discourage you. What do you think? We got to do something because they can't do this easy stuff. All right, here's one. We ain't doing that one in class. I wouldn't do that one for a test anyway. I'll give you one. I ain't giving you those. I mean, I would give you that for homework, but not for tests. All right, try that one. I don't know how many there are, but I'm going to let y'all do that one by yourself. I'll blow it up for you. And we'll do this one by formulas, okay? So this one will be a little bit different if you did it by the spreadsheet because of it's even. There we go. All right. Now, let's do the okay. Okay, here we go. We want 25th. Our min is 5. Our max is 65. Oops, that one's not right. I need to move it because somebody will say it's not right. Oh, shoot, forget it. There. All right, 60, half of 60 is 30. Half of 25 is 12, 13. 5 and 13 is 6. 33 is what, 32. Half of 32 is 16, right? Just check me. 95, half of 95 is 47.5. I don't know what is half of 95.
It'll be 35. Yeah. 35.
Oh, 65 plus, I subtracted. I'm sorry. I suck.
Come on.
Miss Bible's fault. when you mess up and when you can't get something done, what do? You blame it on someone. All right, so thank you, ma'am, 35. I subtracted. All right, that would be 20. That would be 13. Thank you. 50. 58. Now, I'm going to put the formula up here. So I want my 25th percentile, so that'd be 25 times, how many we got? 18 over 100, and what does that give us? 11. Okay, so 11 is our 25th percentile. Okay, so we'll take a blue marker, and 11 be down here. All right, second percentile is going to be 50 times 18 divided by 100. Somebody give me that. What? 14 even?
Yes.
Okay. So 14, that's going to be our median. I don't want that yet. Oh, I messed up the colors. All right, and then 75 times 18 over 100. What does that come out to be? 31. So hold on just a minute, y'all. I got, what time is it? 2:08. I got 2 minutes. Let me erase this because I don't like not having the right colors. Okay, the first quartile is 11, so that's right here. The third quartile is 31, so that's right here. And you can color it in with black or red, I don't care. And then what's the 14? Okay, somebody tell me something about this. Dang, come in. Tell me something about. What can you tell me about this data if this is, where's the center? Where's the center? It's all screwed up. Don't use it, throw it out. All right, and that's how you do a 5-number summary. Now listen, we have just covered, basically we've covered the last section. That means Tuesday is going to be finish up and review day. I'll show you the test probably. Yeah, whatever. Quit getting technical. Just come here Thursday. And that means the test probably going to be likely this weekend and into next week. Okay? All right, see y'all Thursday. Glad y'all got to see me. Listen, Bo, I got to have somebody pick me. And you're right there in my line of sight. I'm sorry.
I'm not trying to get
I think you can take it. Yes, ma'am. No.
I know what to do here. I know it's open, that's because I opened it, like that thing right there. It was covered up until I pull it off.
Yeah.
I've entered like different letters. It says like a C can be confused with O or something. It says it is not that. I don't know.
Okay. When did you get this? Shoot. Forgot. Turn it off. I didn't say anything bad, did I?